Productivity isn't some secret talent reserved for early risers and people who drink green juice at 5 a.m. It's a loop, a predictable, repeatable cycle that you've probably been using without realizing it. But the problem is, you're using it wrong. You've been tricked into thinking that motivation comes before action. It doesn't. Action comes first. Then, once you've done something, literally anything, you start to feel accomplished. That accomplishment fuels motivation. And guess what? More motivation leads to more action. Repeat until successful, or until you pass out. You already know this works because you've lived it. Think about all the times you've put off an assignment for weeks, convinced that you just weren't in the right mindset. Then, suddenly, with 30 minutes left before the deadline, you transform into a literary genius. Typing so fast your keyboard is begging for mercy. Did you suddenly become smarter? Nope. Your brain just finally kicked the cycle into overdrive. That crushing last-minute panic gives you a rush of urgency, and you are forced into high-speed execution mode. No distractions, no overthinking, just pure chaotic productivity. The bad news? If you always wait for a crisis to activate the cycle, you're setting yourself up for a lifetime of unnecessary stress. The good news? You don't have to wait. You can start the cycle manually. Even when you feel zero motivation, do something. Write a single sentence, read one page, open the damn document. The second you begin, your brain will shift gears. One sentence becomes two, two become a paragraph. Suddenly, you're in the zone. Your to-do list is trash. I'm not even being mean. If your list includes things like work on project or be productive, you might as well write achieve greatness and hope for the best. Vague, overwhelming tasks do nothing to help your brain. Your mind sees work on project and immediately starts screaming, "Where do I even start?" Instead of starting it, you suddenly remember that your desk needs organizing and that you should refill your water, and maybe you should quickly check your phone. Congrats, you've just entered the great productivity avoidance spiral. But here's the fix. Break everything into microscopic, idiot-proof steps. Instead of write essay, try write intro sentence, then write first paragraph, and take a victory sip of coffee. Sound small? Good, that's the point. Small tasks feel effortless to start, and once you start, momentum takes over. The brain loves quick wins. That's why crossing off a task, even a tiny one, feels so satisfying. Each check mark releases a dopamine hit, tricking your brain into wanting more. So you keep going. Being a goldfish on TikTok is easy until you realize your attention span is ruined. I don't even have to ask, I know it is. Thanks to social media, your brain is now trained to demand constant, high-speed entertainment. Every time you sit down to work, your brain is craving distractions, and you're giving in. The fix? Eliminate distractions before they eliminate your productivity. First, let's talk about your phone. If your phone is within reach, you've already lost. No willpower on earth can stop you from grabbing it just for a second. You need to physically remove it. Put it in another room, not face down, not on silent, gone. If you think you need it for emergencies, tell me, when was the last time you got an actual emergency call while working? Once your phone is banished, use the sprint method. Work for 30 minutes of pure focus, then take a 5-minute break. Repeat. Your brain loves short bursts of intense effort. And because you know a break is coming, your brain won't rebel as hard against focusing. Still feeling stuck? Change your environment. If you've been staring at the same wall for 2 hours, move somewhere new. Work at a coffee shop, sit in a different chair, or literally just turn your desk around. Your brain loves novelty. New setting equals new energy. And most of the times, you don't feel like working. You stare at your to-do list, hoping it'll somehow complete itself. You refresh your email. You suddenly remember that your room desperately needs cleaning, and before you know it, you've wasted an hour doing everything except the thing you're supposed to be doing. Yes, it's you. The problem is, you're waiting for motivation to magically appear. But motivation isn't what gets you started, it's what happens after you start. The trick is to force yourself into action. It's like working out. You might not feel like going to the gym, but the second you start moving, your energy kicks in, and suddenly you're in the zone. Productivity works exactly the same way. One way to trick yourself into starting: set a fake deadline. Pretend your task is due in 1 hour and see how much faster you move. Your brain loves urgency. Use that to your advantage. If you need extra motivation, make it personal. Remind yourself why you're doing this. More money? Better grades? More free time later? Your goals won't happen on their own. You have to make them happen. Another easy hack: attach work to an existing habit. If you always check your phone after waking up, replace that habit with 10 minutes of real work first. If you always have coffee in the morning, pair it with knocking out a small task. The more automatic work becomes, the less you have to rely on that unreliable willpower. You think you have more time than you do. You tell yourself, "Oh, this will only take 30 minutes." And suddenly, it's 3 hours later. Your task is still unfinished, and you are clueless, like how. Welcome to the human brain. It's terrible at estimating time. This is why deadlines sneak up on you like a ninja, and why you always end up scrambling at the last minute. You're not lazy, you're just wildly optimistic about time. The only way to fix this? Double the time you think a task will take. If you think you can finish in a day, give yourself 2 or 3. This might sound excessive, but trust me, it's way better to finish early than to be drowning in last-minute stress. The worst-case scenario? You finish ahead of schedule and have extra time to relax. Not exactly a tragedy. Time management is great and all, but if you don't manage your energy, nothing gets done. You could have a perfectly planned schedule, but if you're running on 3 hours of sleep and a questionable amount of caffeine, your productivity is already dead in the water. You don't need more hours. You need more energy to use the hours you have. First, work in focused sprints, not all-day marathons. You're not a robot. You can't expect your brain to be fully engaged for 8 hours straight. Instead, work in 30 to 60-minute bursts, then take a break. This way, your brain gets the recovery time it needs, and you actually get more done in less time. And second, take real breaks. No, scrolling Instagram isn't a break. Neither is watching YouTube videos about how to be productive. Instead, go for a walk, stretch, breathe actual fresh air. Your brain needs real resets to function at its best. Sometimes, the biggest productivity killer isn't distractions. It's your own brain. You sit down to start a project, but instead of working, you get stuck overthinking every detail. What if it's not good enough? What if you fail? What if people judge you? Congratulations, you've just entered the overthinking black hole. The truth is, overthinking gets you nowhere. It's like rocking in a chair. You feel like you're doing something, but you're not actually going anywhere. And the longer you sit there paralyzed by doubt, the harder it becomes to start. The solution is to stop waiting for confidence and just start. Even if your first attempt is terrible, it's still better than nothing. And above all, perfectionism is a scam. Your first try of anything will suck. That's fine. It's supposed to suck. The only way to improve is by actually doing the work. Let me know what you suck the most at in the comments below, and I will make your life easier by making a video on it.